Hello, everyone. Welcome to the CEV Champions League. We have a fun one for you today in Pool D, an exciting matchup between Imoco Volley Conegliano of Italy. Some of the players you see arriving already into the stadium, and they are taking on Allianz MTV Stuttgart of Germany. My name is Key Michael. I'm excited to be your host for today's matchup, and the players are looking pumped. Kelsey Robinson-Cook and her American teammate Plummer are taking on these ladies from Germany. We are in the Pala Verde as they face off for the second time this season. In fact, in the head-to-head, Conegliano have come out 2-0, as the players from Stuttgart also entering the building, those famous green doors and the green seats that you will get to see as we head into
it's a tough match
the stadium.
because it's a match of Champions League. We already played versus Stuttgart a few weeks ago. We know that they are a good team. We need to play our best volleyball because if our tension is not so high, we risk a lot. We want to continue in a good way, not only in Champions League but during our season. And we know that Champions League is part of our way to play volleyball, a way to improve until the end of this season, and we want to win today to arrive in the quarterfinal as soon as possible.
What do I expect of the match? You're playing against probably the best team in the world right now, so it's going to be a huge challenge for us. I think we played a very good home game against Conegliano, and I hope that we can adjust one, two little things which we were not doing good enough in the first game, being a little bit more aware of especially block defense situations, and then let's see what chances we have tonight, but for sure we will fight.
Well, there you go. A quick word from the coaches before the matchup. Head coach Daniele Santarelli saying Champions League, one of the ways that this team gets to improve, of course, they get to play against some of the highest level other volleyball teams in Europe. But it's safe to say, as the coach of Stuttgart, Konstantin Bitter, mentioned, that Conegliano are one of, if not the best teams in the world, and they have been that way for many a season. They've been starring in Champions League for quite a while. There they are, all in the locker room, just getting ready. The final preparations. I can tell you, having played in Champions League before, in any high-level match, the locker room's really important in terms of setting the mood for your team. It's going to be a mixture of calm, excitement, playing some music, checking your last-minute phone messages, chatting around with your teammates, or not, as the case may be for Crystal Rivers. But there's a lot going on in the locker room that really sets the tone for these two teams. Well, they might be discussing the last match. The last time they faced off was November 15th. They did play against each other in the 2020 season, but the second match was canceled due to COVID. But Conegliano won in Germany 3-1 last time they played. The Americans were the stars of the show for both the teams that day. Kelsey Robinson-Cook for Conegliano and Crystal Rivers both logged 21 points for their respective sides. Now, the captains met just moments ago to see who would get the first serve, who would take which side. Looks like Asha Volash taking the serve, and Stuttgart choosing the side. Well, as the standings currently sit, Conegliano remain undefeated. They are in first position in the pool, which also contains Delaprez Szeszów of Poland, I'm going to try and pronounce that correctly throughout the match, and Asterix of Belgium. But Stuttgart have only won one match in the pool so far. Conegliano will be riding a high as per usual. They've tasted nothing but victory so far this season, both in Champions League and also in the regular Italian League. They've gone 10 from 10 in the Italian League. They went 3 from 3 in Champions so far, and 1 win in the Italian Super Cup 2. They're always one of the hot favorites in the European competition. You know that if you've been watching volleyball for any amount of time. A lot of success recently in 2021 Champions League. They were the winners, and they currently hold the world record for most wins in a row. They took 74 wins, knocking Vakifbank off that podium in 2021. Now, that was when Pola Eganu reigned supreme for Conegliano, but now they have a few tweaks in the roster. But they do like to keep a lot of players for multiple seasons. In fact, 10 players returning from last season. And the team is looking as strong as ever. There's the schedule for these two teams. This is the match you're watching, Stuttgart Conegliano, and then just a couple days' time, Rzeszów will take on Asterix from Belgium, but then they have a little bit of a break until the new year. There are the standings, as mentioned before. Conegliano right there on top, Rzeszów taking the second spot, and Stuttgart, with that win over Asterix just recently, secured themselves a potential to advance from the pool. They needed that win to do it. Well, Coach Santarelli mentioned before this match, he noted that the team's gone through a pretty difficult period. Injuries, but the players have reacted in a way that's made him really proud, and so far they've gotten the results that they've needed, and he recognizes that this Stuttgart was not an easy team to face in Germany, and they're going to be equally hard today as the roster is filled with, in his words, internationally experienced players. We'll get to meet some of those shortly, but Stuttgart's coming off 3 wins, 2 back-to-back in Aachen in the German Cup, or against Aachen, excuse me, in the German Cup and the German League, and then most recently, as mentioned, over Asterix in the Champions League. Now, one of the main problems for Stuttgart last time these two faced off was their reception. Conegliano were able to log 12 aces to the German side's just 2. Now, in the first set, which was the only one Stuttgart took off the Italians, the Germans kept their error count extremely low. They only gave up 2 points, whereas Conegliano gave up about 7 in that first set. But as the match wore on, that error count started to creep up, as did the pressure in the serve, and ultimately in the block too, because it all kind of factors in the domino effect of that strong serve and then the aggressive block to back it up. But Stuttgart had about 3 blocks to finish the match. Conegliano had 6. And that was a big function of that service pressure from the line. Also a growing impatience, I think, to try and score the ball by Stuttgart's offensive line. But when you're playing a team like Conegliano, you have to have the ultimate patience, because they're going to block. They're going to pick balls up in defense. So it's a matter of keeping those errors really low and being smart in the attack. Well, for Conegliano, the American duo of Catherine Plummer and Kelsey Robinson-Cook were lifting a majority of the offensive load in the last match, in a combination with Bella Hack on the opposite. Sarah Farr and Robin de Cruyff were the go-to in the middle. So we'll see what combination Coach Santarelli chooses today. He certainly has a wealth of riches on his bench, as well as Captain Asher Volash, who is fit and ready to go for this match. Stuttgart, last time they went with Aline Zimmermann and Monique Struba on the block. Jolie Nolema and Maria Segura on the outside, and Crystal Rivers in the opposite position. There were a few subs called on in the later 3 sets. Britt Bonhertz was at the helm. She has experience playing in Italy and certainly knows her opponents well. But between the two teams, other than the local Italians and the German players, it's a pretty heavy mix of Dutch and American players, with 5 from the Netherlands and 6 from the US between these two teams. So keep an eye out on those players. There's a lot of knowledge between these two teams of other players on the other side. Conegliano, in terms of history in the CEV Champions League competition, they were eliminated in the quarterfinals in the 2023 Champions League. That was their worst result of the competition since having reached playoffs in 2014. That was their debut season. The Italians have contested 4 of the last 6 finals in this competition. They won it in 2021. We mentioned that earlier. They then finished as runners-up in 2017, 2019, and 2022. Conegliano have a pretty good win-loss record, 33-2 in their last 5 matches in this competition, with their only losses coming to Turkish opposition. So those are pretty tough stats if you're a Stuttgart fan today, or a Stuttgart player. But Allianz MTV Stuttgart reached the quarterfinals of this Champions League 3 times, 2019, 2020, and 2023. They were paired with an Italian team 3 times and were eliminated twice, with the 3rd one being in the season that was canceled due to COVID. Now there's a look at the lineup from Conegliano. If you know anything about high-level volleyball, you'll recognize many of those players. Kelsey Robinson-Cook from the U.S. Olympic gold medal team. Asha Volash of the Polish squad. Stuttgart have a few names of their own. A couple I'd point out, Bert Bonhertz of the Netherlands. She's the setter that will be in place today, as well as Crystal Rivers. Hasn't been on the international scene much further than Germany. She did play in France for a little while, but hasn't really expanded her horizons much from there. I always thought she would. I remember playing against her when I played in France and thought she has a real talent, and I wouldn't be surprised to see her throughout Europe. But here's one player you'll definitely know who started her career as well in France. I believe it was also in Béziers where Crystal Rivers played. Isabelle Hack is one of the best opposites in the game, and these two going head to head tonight. It'll be interesting to see those two. They have very different styles. Hack much taller and likes to reach at that peak, and I feel as though Crystal Rivers just a quicker arm and a little bit more curvature to her balls. Well, as the music plays and the butterflies begin in the fans and probably in the players, I'll just step aside for a moment to appreciate the Champions League music and the chills it gives you. Again, my name's Key Michael, welcoming you to this Champions League match between Conegliano and Stuttgart. I can tell you, having been a player myself, having stood in those shoes, not to brag, but I do have a silver medal in this Champions League competition. It is nothing short of the best feeling in international volleyball, short of playing in the Olympics. This is the highest level for a European volleyball player. It gives you chills to hear that music played before each match. For Conegliano, who've tasted victory in this competition and are looking for it again, I have no doubt that every single time they stand on that line, they are hungry for it. Well, before we get to meet the starters for today's match, let's meet the referees. Mikhail Kutsoulas of Greece and Vladimir Simonovic of Switzerland. Those two will be presiding over the match to make sure that all things are in accordance with the rules and the governance of our lovely sport of volleyball. Well, since Stuttgart is the visiting team, they will be headed out on court first. Maria Segura Payeras, the Spanish captain of Stuttgart, is out first, as well as Monique Struba, middle blocker of Germany. Britt Bonhertz, the Dutch setter, will be at the helm for her team. The number 16, Kayla Hanelin, middle blocker of the USA, gets the start, as does, I believe, Crystal Rivers, who snuck in there without us noticing, opposite of the USA. The number 17, Alexis Hart, outside hitter. And Konstantin Bitter, who's in his first season, head coach since 2023 of this team. There you go, confirmation of those starters. And in the libero jersey, Rusa Koskelo. Well, the crowd's gonna start heating up here in the Pala Verde as Conegliano announces their starting squad. Elsie Robinson-Cook getting the nod, as does Federica Squarcini. I believe I spy an Asha Volosh in the setting spot. Indeed, I do. Kalia Lanier getting her start, as well as Isabella Hack in the opposite spot. Robin de Cruyff will round it out in the middle. There's the head coach, Konstantin Bitter of Stuttgart, assistant coach with Germany's under-23. And of course, the well-known Daniele Santarelli, who actually played until 2010, but he's been coaching in Conegliano since 2017. Current head coach of Turkey, been getting some medals with them, as well as Serbia before that. Plenty of experience and plenty of success for that Italian coach. Here we go. The whistle is blown and Champions League in the Pala Verde is about to commence. Conegliano on the right, taking on Stuttgart on the left in the white. And the first shot's fired. Crystal Rivers from the pipe. No surprise there. She will be and has been the go-to player for the Stuttgart side. The 29-year-old has been playing in Stuttgart since 2018. And that brings up the first serve for Kayla Hanelin, 29-year-old. Looking for an ace serve, and she'll get it. That's a great start for Stuttgart. Well, an unexpected start out of the heavy hitters on Conegliano's side. But well left that second time. Kelsey Robinson-Cook not going to be taken advantage of 2 times in a row, that's for sure. One of the veteran players on Conegliano's side. Olympic gold medalist, no doubt. Asha Volash to serve. Ball's in play for Stuttgart. Does it catch the sideline? Beautifully done. Well, an excellent start so far for Stuttgart. And that one going just in between the blockers. Catching a little bit of the sideline. Now, Coach Santorelli mentioned this is a difficult team to play, and he has no doubt they're going to bring it. So far, so good for Stuttgart, but through the middle goes Volash to her quick hitter, Squarcini. The 23-year-old Italian middle blocker up early. Doesn't have to swing to her full strength, but that's an important part about being a middle, just being there whenever Asha needs you. Learned that lesson a few times. Crystal Rivers pops it over. Free ball chance again, this time back to Hack. And the wide open spaces found simply and quickly by the Swedish opposite. And that's the power of already having established her middle. Volash gets a one-on-one on the right side. Tough swing for Rivers, big block in place. Robinson-Cook outside, hammers it home. She was the top scorer of the last match between these two. So no doubt we'll see her picking up some of the offensive action throughout the match. Conegliano's Lanier to serve. The 25-year-old outside hitter gets herself an ace serve. Well, she didn't get a whole lot of playing time last time these two teams were together. But she finds herself in a good position here, adding an ace to the board for Conegliano right off the bat. Goes for another one, 2 in a row for Lanier. A great introduction to the courts. Not so much for Stuttgart, who are now realizing they are in Conegliano's home gym. And all things looking good for the team in blue. Timeout called.
Okay, start long enough that you don't have to reach up to play the ball, that you have the ball in front of you, you can play. You had perfect first reception that game. Huh? Okay, come on guys, we just need the first touch.
Coach Bitter trying to keep things calm on his side, giving some constructive feedback. He had a good first reception. That is a tough serve that Lanier is putting. It's going flat down the sideline as she's really targeting that outside shoulder. Much better handled there, and Stuttgart able to convert on that one. An important conversion indeed. Rivers finding that just underneath and inside the blockers. Maria Segura, 31-year-old Spanish outside hitter. She's been playing in Stuttgart since 2020. Goes for that deep corner, looking for Lanier. But it's Cook to finish it off. Good combination play there from Conegliano. Volash off the net just a little bit, flinging it high and wide. And that's the key there, is that Kelsey Robinson-Cook had a lot of options there. It didn't look perfectly in position Conegliano a little bit out of sorts there, but they get themselves back into a good fighting offensive spot. Good pick up off the block. The Italians back again, and dropping it in the honey pot is the Swedish opposite, Isabella Hack, the 24-year-old. And I think we forget that she's still so young, and her toolkit is opposites in the world for her powerful attack. But now she's starting to put in those roll shots as well, find some off-speed moments. Stuttgart looking for Rivers to deliver on the right side. No good this time. Had a pretty good run there on the outside, but problem with continuing to give one player all the attacks. Eventually some errors are going to creep in. Von Hertz this time to the outside. There's a great tip from Alexis Hart. Ball stays in play, and it's back to Rivers again, who tries to tip. Conegliano on it. A little short ball in front to the outside, heavier driven. Setters out of the pass now. Another high ball to the outside. Conegliano jousting at the net. Another opportunity, and this time Rivers manages to squeeze it through. She was trying to get that push, that little tip to work, but every single time there was somebody underneath it. Squarcini that time, but eventually capitalizing on a mismatch in the timing on that block from Conegliano. Strube, 22-year-old, goes for a deep float. She's targeting Conegliano's libero. No good that time. Block is, though. To the right side. Hack, sharp and inside the defense. The lethal attack of Bella Hack is exactly that. It goes over the block because of her height, but she puts such a snap on it that goes in front of the defense. So that's one of the hardest attacks to do. Usually if you're going over the block, you're maybe going out, you're searching for fingertips, but it's tough to bring that ball back into play really sharp, as she does. Rivers off the block, picked up well in the backcourt. Little tickle over from the middle. Free ball. Well handled and given right back. Robin de Graaf, the 32-year-old middle blocker of the Netherlands. And that's a connection that's been working for quite some while. Timeout now.
You go too much down, you can spike over that block. And this last defense there, bring out your platform, get behind the ball. It's not the hardest spike I have seen of her. Come on, we are not believing on the court. We can come back, but just with quality fighting and playing with the self-confidence we need now. Come on.
I wish I knew what Stuttgart's cheer was. I'm trying to. I don't know. Speak a little bit of German, but that's not coming to me. 2 timeouts used up from Stuttgart. Coach Bitter really trying to get some momentum behind his team. It's tough to do in this Palo Verde against Conegliano anytime, but especially when they're in their home gym. Ball's called out. Point goes to Stuttgart. However, might we have a challenge? Indeed, I think we do. Coach Santarelli. Actually, it looks like Stuttgart has made the challenge. It was called out, if I'm not mistaken. But the point was given to Conegliano, so maybe there was a change of heart there by the referee. It's Stuttgart having to make the challenge. So we just want to know if that ball touched the end line. It was a pretty good serve, and again, Hawk, one of the better servers in the game, looking for the end line. She's already looking for a conflict zone between players, and then they have to call whether or not it's in or out. They have to make that decision game time. Doesn't look like the referees have much else to say about it. Look, let's see what we get here. Challenge Challenge for in-out. Ooh, it's a close one, but indeed it was out. So the point goes back to Stuttgart. And rightfully so. Well, you hate to see that after a long fought challenge. The best thing to do is put the ball in play, but anyone who's played high level volleyball knows how hard that is to do. When you're playing a tough team, you cannot give lollipop serves, so the risk is just higher. Great ball in for Stuttgart that time, dropping it over the blockers. Excellent finish there from Alexis Hart. Getting, at the very least, getting Hawk on the floor. Hart, the 25-year-old out of Minnesota University. Tough serve, gets Volosh off the net. Rivers underneath it. Ball to the outside, in the hands and back down. Great block. Excellent combination play there. Forehands perfectly placed. Out goes Monica De Janeiro just for the serve. Big swing from Conegliano on the outside. Stuttgart giving up a break point to the Italians. Lanier looking deep into the corner. Excellent finish for the American. Played in Bergamo last season, USC before that. Oh, what a pickup. Chance again. And off the net. There's the tip. Well read. Setter's out though. And Lanier trying to do the best she could there. A really tight inside set. So the blockers are already well set up. Best she could ask for, hope for, is try and do the push off the hands and out of bounds. Perhaps didn't realize how far into court she was. 14-8. Stuttgart trying to catch up. Another tough serve. Roll shot. Simple play for Stuttgart. Can they capitalize through the pipe? Yes, indeed. Well worked by Hart. That cross up her body, targeting that right side of the court. Excellent changeup to get past the blockers. So 9-14, Stuttgart continues serving tough. Scramble play, another chance. High down the line. To Lanier, who has a big swing. Oh, great touches, but it's not coming back. Stuttgart doing a great job of getting some contacts on the ball here. Rivers down the line. And there's the rundown hustle that Coach Bitter was asking for from his team. But Conegliano on the run. 15-9. Volosh goes straight down the middle to Hart. And off the net is the Spanish outside hitter. And the Swedish says, "You're not passing, not today." That is a well-formed block between Squashchini and Hawk. Another shots fired. Well, I like Bonhertz trying to use her middle in that opportunity. Skaruba up early and open, creates a little path for herself. If you watch there, she's fully open. And she is looking for that deep line and misses just by a couple of inches. That's a great swing. Bit of luck. Bonhertz played in Stuttgart last season, Perugia before that. Knows a few of these players well. There's the pickup. Ball's way out of system for Stuttgart. A scramble play, bodies on the floor. It's the setter, in fact, who can't get up. But it does not matter. Conegliano's seen that before, and that's the sign of a great team as well. Stuttgart do well to get Asha Volash on the floor. Right, there's the defense from the setter, and it doesn't even take a split second of thought for Monica De Gennaro to step and set that high but fast as well. Line shot looking good on the right side from Segura. Segura, another one of those players who's been in Italy before, played in Brescia, Cuneo, Monza, Trentino. Heads back to serve as the Americans have a little chit chat on the side. Maddie Bug, Catherine Plummer, and Kalia Lanoya all sharing information. No touch. Good point for Stuttgart. Robinson Cook, often one of the better players at finding fingers and hands of the blockers. That's what she's looking for there. Missing just by a couple of inches. Tough serve. And Stuttgart backing it up at the net. Crystal Rivers seeing her opportunity. That's really well read. Just one step to give herself space from the net so she can make that full swing without catching the net. Wonder if Santarelli is having some thoughts. Still up by a few points there. Quick math, I think it's 5. But he does have a look of concern on his face, especially as the points keep dropping in the bucket of Stuttgart's side. A sloppy swing there. Hack knew there was going to be a block in her way. There's a timeout.
The best service in this way. Okay, I don't want that you take the ball in the right side. In the right side, I want that you protect the right side and you pass on your left side. You can risk a little bit because if she changes, she serve out of her approach, the serve is not so strong. Then you can help for the short serve. Okay, then calm. Wait the right moment, attack if you can attack, put the ball in the center of the court if you cannot attack. Bye.
Good, calm, solid advice there from Santarelli. If it's not the moment to attack, don't go for it. That's always pretty classic advice. Try and look for the hands and the fingertips, maybe some roll shots, but if you know it's going to be a solid block, especially that last one where Volash was diving off the court to keep it in play, that's not the moment to swing down into the block unless you're sure your players around you are going to cover. That's another situation. Recycling the ball is also a good option. Stuttgart on a roll. Picked up quite a few points here in a row. Volash flinging that to the outside. A misconnection somehow. Uncharacteristic between those two. 15 serving 18. Deep to the corner. Still in play. There's a better swing from Haak. That is her bread and butter. She loves a high inside ball. She can really evaluate the block in that way. So watch as the ball goes straight up and down, quite quick as well. And they will have coordinated that early on. So she knows she's going to try and beat the block with speed, get some really nice snap down the line. And now the luck is starting to swing. Squarcini getting involved in the ace machine. That one is pretty much the nightmare of all setters and all middle blockers, the one that just trickles off the net and down. Second time, not so good. But that's also a good sign. Just aggressive serving from Conegliano, even though the errors might creep in. They had 12 aces last time these two teams met. So they're certainly going to be keeping that pressure as part of their game plan. Alessia Gennati into the mix, the 32-year-old outside hitter from Italy. Aggressive serve from Hawk, and she is looking fired up from the end line. Look at the body control as she contacts that, and again, it's the height combined with the spin of the contact. So she's catching that ball really high up and then just dropping it short in front of the receivers. 4 aces have Conegliano to Stuttgart's just 1. That's part of their game plan. Be aggressive from the serve and force Stuttgart to try and do something there. Ladies on the bench from the USA cheering on their team. Again, Conegliano with a wealth of options on the bench. Rivers is dug. Going down the line. No touch. Was there a net, perhaps, says Bella Hawk? Well, the net is moving a little awkwardly there, must be said. Might we have a challenge, or are Conegliano just fit to move on? Nope, we do indeed have a video check. Now, the last challenge was taken by Stuttgart. They won that one. Conegliano asking for a look at the net to see if it might have been moving. Hawk was pretty well concerned, pretty convinced. Here's a look at it. Well, no touch there. Was moving a little awkwardly though, so perhaps they were looking for a moment slightly earlier than that final contact, but you got to call that as it happens. You can't wait for the ball to be down. That's the rule. So the point stays with Stuttgart, and on we play. Good slowdown by the block of Germany, and a big swing on the outside is putting the pressure back towards the Italian side. Great use by Bonherz. She just flings that in the air, and she's trying to capitalize on the speed of the middle blocker being just a step late. Well, we've all been there. The toss that goes wild and the serve that seems unimaginable, having served a million times in training, having had however many aces. We've all been there, Crystal. No judgment. On we go. Conegliano off the hands and out of bounds. Great swing from De Cruyff. And again, she and Volosh have played together in Conegliano since 2017, so they certainly have a fair amount of experience between the two. They'll have so much knowledge of the speed and the precise ball that the other needs. Conegliano missed the serve on set point, but it still remains set point. As Alexis Hart heads back. Big swing from Hawk down the center, and that will put the pin in it. 25-19. That's a good push at the end there from Conegliano. Had that pressure from the very beginning, and again, utilizing all her weapons as per usual is Volosh. And she has got a lot of them, especially in Bella Hawk. Well, there you go, 25-19. Things going as expected for Conegliano. They certainly have one mission when it comes to this Champions League match, and that is get all 3 points. There's a look at the stats, 13 attacks to 8, 2 blocks each. That's a great stat for Stuttgart, staying neck and neck, but 4 aces to 1. And again, that was the pain point last time these two teams met. Now, the reason Stuttgart did so well in the first set of the last match was their errors. They kept them really low. This time they've given up 6. Conegliano gave them 8. Well, it is a beautiful looking match so far. Hope you're enjoying it. There it is, 25-19, Conegliano pulling away ahead. Now, one of my favorite parts about volleyball is not just the sport, not just the stats, but the people themselves. And I have to give a shout out here to 2 players, one from Stuttgart, Britt Bornherz, and the other from Conegliano is Maddie Bug, because I went to visit both of them on separate occasions when they lived in different teams. Britt was living in Poland and Maddie Bug was living in Mulhouse, but we went and did a video, sort of like day in the life, and we put it up on YouTube. So if you're curious about anything to do with volleyball, go check it out, because it's really fun to see what these players get up to in terms of what it looks like to be a professional volleyball player. If you're interested at all, those are called Volley Bubble. They are on YouTube. Shameless plug, but you know you love some volleyball. I love it too, and it's more than just what's on the court here. All these players putting in work day in and day out, far from their families, far from everything they know and love in their home towns, unless of course they're from Conegliano or Stuttgart respectively, but most of these players are either international or certainly high-level players are going to play at the high-level teams, and they're not going to be in their hometown. Conegliano looking pretty good so far. Not much to say about their performance except as expected. Monica Dejanado picking things up. Always a force in the backcourt. One of the best liberos in the world. Well, in order to get us started again, we will need a ball. There's one. The recognizable yellow and the green stripe for Champions League. Here we go then. Mikhail Kutsulas has blown the whistle. Set number 2 underway. Stuttgart with the first serve. Conegliano with the first point on the right side. Bella Hack, who has played all over. She was a big star for Vakif Bank for a while. Played in Scandici before that. Started her career in Béziers, as mentioned. Has 46 personal awards throughout her career. Bornherz looking for the big guns through the back. Tip recycled, still in play somehow. Might have been a double touch there on Lanier, but not noticed by the referee. No challenge either. Good push from Bornherz, gets her that width, but just a mishandling, not that finish contact to bring that back down into court. 2-0 lead for the home team. And it drops in. Nasha Volosh looking for the end line. Excellent ace serve for the veteran. Volosh, at 33 years old, has been putting aces on the board for over a decade now in her career. The MVP of the Italian Super Cup this year. Ball mishandled on Conegliano's side. to Stuttgart goes the point. I believe there was a net touch between the two. Squarcini and Lanier are looking a little confused, confuddled. One Hertz. Big swing from Hawk. She will continue being the go-to. Lanier back to serve. Stuttgart through the middle. We haven't seen enough of that for my liking. Stuttgart hasn't had the passes to do it. That's been the main problem, is that when that ball comes in, now look how quick Stuttgart can use their offense. And there's one blocker up, but Strube able to turn that cross court and find some empty space in front of Lanier. Well left by De Gennaro as the husband and wife high five on the way out. I always wonder about that dynamic. Playing at the highest level of volleyball with your significant other must add a whole nother layer of interesting things to talk about at the dinner table. Stuttgart continuing to fight. That's a great ball up from the captain. And on the outside, Hart, who actually won the Big Ten in the USA NCAA in 2019. Struba back to serve. Part of the VNL national team with Germany. Sends that one long. She's trying to put some pressure on Conegliano. We've seen it over and over again. Conversation about that contact between coach and player. Just looking for a flat, kind of like a pop. When you're going for a flat float serve, you don't want your hand to stay on the ball very long. Different serve from Hawks. She's doing a top spin, so you really like to control the ball with the hand. Swing from behind. Rivers dug. Once again on the outside. Robinson Cook fires it through. Gets one past the blockers. Beating them with her speed and power that time, just inside. Starts with a big dig there from Lanier as well. Great team effort. And the blockers not able to finish over in time. 7-3 is the lead for Conegliano. Whoa, what a serve. Bella Hawk with a rocket from the end line. Maria Segura can do nothing but smile at that, because what do you do? Just try and get out of the way? Sacrifice the body? There aren't many options. Timeout.
Too many mistakes. Too many mistakes. But not like this last ball, I don't care. But like on the attack, we let too much go. If we go aggressivity or like being tough, doesn't mean that we spike next to the block 5 meters out. Then be more smart. Use a push tip down to the line when everything is open. Move with the ball on reception. Don't let it drop inside. Too many mistakes. Come on.
Siehst du. Does that mean you see? I need someone. I need a German in the chat to let us know what they're saying there. But Stuttgart's coach, well, he's been pretty clear. Cut down on the errors. Wants to see a little more movement in front of that ball. I mean, so much easier said than done. It's not as if Stuttgart are facing the types of Bella Hawk serves in the German league very often. Perhaps in the Italian league. But that's one way to do it. Just get it up in the air and allow the setter and the players to do a little something there. Now, I don't know if the referee saw that, but there were some feet underneath the net there. It looks like Santarelli did indeed see it. And the challenge, or the referee saw it, and the point went directly. No challenge, point does go to Conegliano. So Bella Hawk stays at the end line. Not a place that Stuttgart want to see her. Rivers looking for line. Does she tag it? From where I'm sitting, that ball looked like it could have been out. Is it worth a challenge for Conegliano? Well, De Gennaro says it's out. And I think Santarelli's saying, hey, I listen to my players. I don't know if you heard that little line. Listen to your players, listen to your wife. And was it Kelsey Robinson-Cook that called it out? Whoever it was. We're going to get another chance to see it. First challenge for Conegliano in this second set. Oh, it is in indeed. Well, a cheeky little smile on the side of Conegliano. I think they were hoping it out more than knowing it out. It's always important to be honest with your coach. Doesn't matter though. Hawk to clean it up on the back. There's only one blocker up there against Hawk. That gives me question. That gives me a little bit of pause. But then again, you got to think about all the other players on the side. You can't focus all your energies on one player, even if she's the one scoring every time, because there's so many threats on Conegliano's side. Hart does well on that inside slap. No touch called. Conegliano 11-4. Robinson-Cook almost gets the overpass. Instead, the touch off the block. A good handling by Bonhertz, because that was a really tight ball. That was just inches from going over the net. She somehow manages to pass the blocker in front of her. I think De Cruyff might have even got a little touch on that. Alexis Hart drops it short on De Gennaro. Perfect reception. There's the tip over the block. Outside, another one goes down the line. Quick ball to swing. Overhead of Rivers. She's still in the option to attack. And does she? Yes, but the block is diving in. De Cruyff, unaware of her own skill, throws those arms over in the direction. Waits low. Comes back in, and that is the sign of a great player. Robin De Cruyff makes me laugh every time I see her. Always doing something funky. Good swing for Stuttgart. Captain going high and hard, and just the tiniest of touches. That's exactly what Coach Bitter was asking of his team earlier. Look for those opportunities to go up against the fingertips. Timmerman subbed in. And an ace serve. That'll do nicely. Kayla Hanelin played in Dresden last year. Jules Visbyberg before that, but stayed in Germany so far, the USA middle blocker. Champions League, always an opportunity to show other leagues what you might have. Might be some Italian teams keeping an eye on her. Alania, another one of those players who just joined Conegliano after playing one season in Bergamo. Another challenge. Stuttgart want to know, was there a touch on the block? That's the question. I'll be totally honest with you guys. I took my eyes off the screen. I'm not totally sure what happened, so I'm not even going to venture a guess. However, at 13-7, you probably have to take the challenge somewhere in here, because Conegliano is starting to get to the point where they're looking really comfortable, just pulling away point by point. That's a very different looking face than we saw in the first set. Conegliano's coach, Santarelli, looking much more in control. He's the head coach in Turkey. Before that was with Serbia, Croatia, has the VNL gold medal from 2023. He's also earned 5 Champions League Champions League medals over his career. One of them gold in 2021. Let's see, do you see a little finger moving? I'm not sure that I do, and neither does the referee, so the point stands. And Conegliano keep the point. Volleyball. Polish setter. Off the hands. Back to Kelsey Robinson-Cook in the backcourt, and look at how Conegliano distributes their plays. That's a backcourt attack, but that's not straight up and down in the middle. That's a little bit shifted to the outside, so they're working some really specific zones of the net that the blockers have to pay attention to. And Volleyball, one of the best setters in the world, at the helm.
Generally too much up in base position. Come back, come more back. Okay, then you have also no trouble to defend those pie balls or the spikes. It's easier to step in front for the ball which goes to 4. Come on, guys. It was not, no problem. We have to go. Let in see.
Push, all in.
There's the spread of points. Conegliano going pretty much 2 points for every one that Stuttgart's putting up, and double in the scoreline. Might we see any changes? Would be unexpected to see changes on Conegliano's side. I don't think they need it, but Stuttgart might have to dig into the benches a little bit. To the right side. Avoiding the block, but also avoiding the defensive line. I believe that was Aline Timmerman, 24-year-old middle blocker from the Netherlands. And here are a couple of changes coming in now. Hart out. And number 14, Jovana Mirosavljevic, excuse me for the pronunciation. 23-year-old outside hitter from Serbia in the mix. Captain Segura Paleres out. And Ivana Vanjak, the German-Croatian who played in China last season, is in. But another ace serve for Conegliano off of Asha Volash's touch. Watch the float deep to the side, and she knew where she was going immediately. Saw that substitution. Chose her zone. Goes for it again. Better by Vanjak. Deep swing. That's kept alive. To the outside. Lanier off hands. Tip through the middle. Great up by De Janeiro. Set again, Vanjak going for it. She's recycled. Chance again, this time a tip. Working hard, our Stuttgart, to keep things in play. One more time. Slowing things down, our Conegliano. Quick to the middle. Just long, but I like the idea. You saw that out of De Janeiro. She pops that ball high. Look how long it's out of screen because she's trying to slow down the play there. And it's then Volleyball who can introduce the speed. She then has the opportunity to try and play that a little faster. So that's a tip for all you defensive players out there. Know how to time the game a little bit. High ball to Rivers going off hands. Faster defense. Hawk goes into the block and out. A flat high swing off Vanjak. Conegliano just continue creeping closer. 17-8. Lanier finds the middle. That one's dug. Coming back with the two-hand push. Setter on the floor, right side swing. Vanjak dug. Another one to Kelsey Robinson-Cook. And she is almost certain she got a touch there. De Janeiro saying, nope, we're not challenging this one. Stuttgart doing well to defend there. Bonhertz on the floor, making some scramble play for Conegliano. They make it look calm, but that's the swing in question. Probably not worth a challenge, especially at this point. Gennady in for Lanier. Swing and a cover, but a big block on the outside. The excitement, difficult to contain. Mirosavljevic, the young outside from Serbia, getting a little hyped on blocking Bella Hack, and that's kind of how it is in Champions League. You get a chance to play against the top players. If you're lucky, you pull a team like Conegliano or Vakif Bank, and you get to go up against the best of the best, and you sometimes will get a block, or you'll get a kill or an ace, and it feels so good. Other times, they do this. Put the ball straight up, straight down. And then you just have to put your hands together and say, well, that's why they're the best in the world. Or at least Europe. Off the hands, net. Off the net, not the hands. Scrappiness, but it's still up. Here comes Conegliano through the middle again with the change of direction. De Cruyff up and ready. De Cruyff was the best middle of the Club World Champs in 2020, also 2022. But that's why she's great. Always available for Volosh. Tip for any middle blockers out there, be up, be early. I played with Volosh one time and I wasn't up. I think she stared me down with the eyes of a dagger, and I never was not up again. to 11. Service errors, pretty neck and neck between the teams. Oh, and an ace serve. How do you like that, Zimmerman? Played in Stuttgart since 2021. Aachen before that. She was actually the best spiker of the German league in 2022. Got a bit of a serve on her too, flat and deep. Same thing, targeting Gennady. This time Conegliano stay in it. And no surprise there, Hack with the big guns on the right side. That connection there between De Gennaro and Hack, well worked. And the double substitution coming in. We'll get a chance to see some fresh faces on the court. Maddie Bug, the 29-year-old setter out of the USA, who played last season in Poland. Before that, played in Rome, in Malus, which we mentioned. We did our Volleyball episode together. Ready, back to serve. Not quite an ace, but a big swing there. Must have been a touch from Conegliano in the block. There's no argument. They come back in to have a big swing. Calm and collected is De Cruyff. She takes that free ball. Bug again. Not 100% sure if that ball went off of Rivers. Oh, I don't think it did. I think it just went off of the net. So the point stays with Stuttgart. Rivers back to serve at 13-21. Freebie. An ace serve. Robinson Cook drops it to the sideline. The float on that ball. And it just drops out of the air. She's been practicing that one for over a decade. She's played in Japan, Fenerbahce, in Vakif Bank, in China. In fact, been with Conegliano back and forth 3 or 4 times, I think. We always welcome her back with open arms, because why not? One of the best in the world. Trying for the touch is Mirosavljevic, and she gets it. (14-23). De Gennaro steps in with the perfect pass. The cross-court swing off De Cruyff. Free ball handled well, quick again to the middle, and a good choice there for the American, Maddie Bug, as she is getting her middles involved often. That's making it way more difficult for the blockers on the other side. That first time dig comes back over, chance again to use de Cruyff with the sideways set as well. Keeps those elbows out of the net. Bug was the best setter of the French League in 2021. She actually won that with Malouz. Ana Bardaro into serve set point, 24-14. Manjak goes off hands. And it goes out of bounds after that. She's looking for Vittoria Piani, the 25-year-old. Very close to getting those full and back in, but it's still set point, 24-15. Ball's in play. Quick to the middle again. Love that for Bug and her team as Conegliano take the set. Squarcini up and open with a quick snap. 2 blockers on her, and it does not matter. Great play by Conegliano, and they are looking comfortable headed into the third. 25-15 was that second set. Even better than the first at 25-19. Question is, how does Stuttgart respond? Here's how it happened. The sets from that stat. 1 block apiece. Again, Conegliano racking up the aces. 4-2. If you remember last set, it was 4-1. And then the errors even lower. Conegliano giving just 4 points up to Stuttgart, whereas Stuttgart gave away 8. And that was one of the things we told you to keep an eye on. The one set that Stuttgart took off of Conegliano the last time they played was because they kept 2 errors only on the board. This time they've given up 8. There we go then, Conegliano up by 2, and they are looking good. They have not faltered yet, and I like that Coach Santarelli is bringing in some substitutions, allowing some other players that maybe don't get that much time on court. He's got Maddie Bug in there, brought Ana Bardaro in for 1 serve. Might see a few more switch-ups, but for Stuttgart, they're going to need to find a way to slow down that offense, which is starting from the end line. It's Conegliano who's been really aggressive in the serve, putting those 4 aces per set so far. If they can do better at handling that reception, giving Bonhertz the opportunity to run her middle more often, might see a little bit more success there, but so much to handle when you're playing Conegliano. They are just throwing something at you like a tsunami of offense, I like to call it. Question is, can Stuttgart keep firing for 1 more set? Not sure what's going on there over on the bench of Conegliano, but they're having fun. That's the most important part. Prove me wrong. Looks like Conegliano going back to their starting lineup. Hawk in there, Volosh as well. Lanier getting the nod again. Here we go then. Set number 3 underway. One last chance for Stuttgart to hold down the fort. Doesn't look like Conegliano has any intention of letting them in this match. Big block to start off, and Rivers is targeted in it. Lanier having a lot of fun with it, and why not? She is on a roll so far. Ball's in play, but it's tight. Rivers better that time. Great use by Bonhert. She's able to push that ball back when all the blockers were kind of focused in on her. Have a look as that ball gets tight. Lanier diving in on it. And interestingly, Bonhertz was backcourt, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. So that was not the time necessarily to be blocking on the setter. There's the tip coming in. Conegliano pick it up. A diving throw. And Stuttgart in a chance to score off the middle. Not yet, but quick to the outside goes Volosh. Bonhertz using her weapons from the backcourt. Vanjak, who stayed in the starting lineup. Haak covers it up. And another chance. Big swing. Big swing from Lanier to close it off. I'm loving the fight out of Stuttgart. They have not come into this set rolled over and defeated. That's the play of a defensive-minded team. Right now, they have to have one thing in mind, just try and keep these balls off the floor, force Conegliano to score, keep our errors low. Volosh keeps the errors coming, though. She is looking for it from the end line. Another ace serve for the captain. Volosh has 3 service errors at present. Adds, or excuse me, 3 service aces, now adds another error to it. But that's what you're going to get. High risk, high reward, as they say. I think another reason for that, Volosh likes to change up her serve. So that first one deep, that second one she was looking to go short with it. And returning the favor, Maria Segura. Maria Segura, normally known for her reception, was the best receiver at the Euro Champs qualification in 2021. Put her at the end line. She's got a bit of heat there too. Back within 1. Same spot, just wide of it. Lanier breathing a sigh of relief. She heads back to serve. Son of 8-time All-Star and Hall of Fame NBA player Bob Lanier. There's the dig. Over and deep, misses the hands, misses the defense. An aggressive attack out of Vanjak, but it just goes long. Sees her opportunity here with that high set. Takes a step and a movement, but nobody at the net to try and catch those fingertips. Tight throw from the middle, still in play. Oh, Bella Haak. Are you kidding me with that angle? 0 block in play. She sees it, she feels it. And that is the sharpest swing we've seen all day. We knew it was coming. Timeout.
Slide is too long, play B. If you want to change, play B ball. Also possible, you have single block. The reception is good now. But again, guys, we make too many mistakes. We have no block, we spike out. On the reception, get your body behind the ball. Don't lean away. You have no shoulder behind the ball. Hey, wait, come on, fight! Fight now, fight, up.
I have good news for you. Someone on the socials wrote to me and said Stuttgart is saying a Finnish word, sisu. It roughly translates into strength of will, determination, perseverance, and acting rationally in the face of adversity. Love that. Also, shout out to the internet. Thank you. Ask and you shall receive. Stuttgart with the Sisu. Ball is out. Point goes back. There's a great dig there, but it's just tight enough. Volosh not able to do much but catch the antenna. And the Stuttgart Sisu continues. 4-7, trying to catch up. Oh, tough serve. Tight again with the one-handed set. Volosh, let him know. That's why she's one of the best. Doesn't barely have to move, just throws up a hand. Watch this in slow motion. That is the perfection of a set. It's high enough, it's tight, it's still in a good position to attack. Mic drop for Volosh. Great serve. 8-4. Swing from behind. Timmerman. Best middle in the German league. 2021 gets in it. Gets something done on the right side. Good high, wide push. And we heard the coach talking about, hey, you might want to use B. We can use some different options in attack, but that slide looked good. Bonhertz. Best server of the Bundesliga in 2018. No ace that time. But she does force the error off Hack. And closing the gap to 2. One blocker up. Hack looking for that deep corner. And again, I like that Hack is switching up her attacks every time. That's something she does really, really well. Oh, an ace serve. Bonhertz. That is why she's one of the best servers, or she at least was in 2018, continues to be. Looking for pressure on Robinson Cook. Down by 1 now at Stuttgart. Going for another one on Lanier this time. Again to Hack, she's dug. Two-handed throw. Ball's in play. Right side swing. Same ball to the outside. Cook goes cross. That'll get it done. Love that repeat set from Volosh, and those two reading each other well. It's important. If you have a player that is so important like Kelsey Robinson Cook, keep them involved. You saw she got aced, and Volosh goes back to her 2 times in the very next play because she knows how important it is to get her in this game and keep her in the game. Quick throw. Hawks out of play. Oh, no, she's not. She's up. Defense is good. Rivers goes deep. Lanier with the dig. Another one from Hack and another sharp angle. Doesn't catch the sideline. Santorelli says it does. First challenge of set number 3. There's the roll. Ooh, from that angle, it's clearly in, but we might see another one. Britt Bonhart's trying her best to convince the referees it was out. I think she might know in her heart of hearts the truth. Let's have another look at it. Yep, there it is. Hack with a little roll, the cheeky little sideline. Brings up a 3-point lead again for the home team. Hack's been lethal from the end line. What does she have here? Let's Stuttgart off the hook. Ball's in play. There's the tip. And another roll, 2 hands this time. Quick ball behind. De Cruyff is sent packing. Excellent block from Stuttgart. Especially because Timmerman has to get up off the floor from there. She's diving in. And they always tell you as a middle blocker, don't reach to the outside. Just close wherever you are. Put your hands over the net. And that's exactly what Timmerman did on that last block. Another good play by Conegliano. Again, you're not going to hold players like Decoy down for very long with the experience that she has. Best middle blocker at Champions League back in 2021. Lanier looking for the side. Got a little bit too much of the net. I like that overload play, and you know Lanier, you know exactly what she was looking for. She felt that inside, her external rotation, turning that ball in that way. 2 points up are Conegliano. Can they keep them? So far, yes. Rivers with a chance to tie or get one from tie. Excuse me, math's not my strength, but Rivers gets it done. Calm, cool, and collected over the block deep into that line. Kind of missing 2 defenders and 2 blockers at the same time. Good, precise decision. Degenato pops it up. Some heat from Hawk in the pipe. Bella Hawk spreads the difference back to 2 points. Decoy has had experience in Vakif Bank, Piacenza, also played in Germany for a little while in Dresden. Captain continuing to work. Great push from Bonhertz. It's wide, and that line shot just over the shoulder is exactly what Stuttgart needed. Ball's in play. Hack comes responding. Back up in the joust. Defensive sprawl from Bonhertz. Quick to the middle again. Squarcini racking up some points at the net. Starts with a really good defense there from Stuttgart. They're keeping themselves in a good position, but Wolosz knows when and how to get that middle fired. Nice dig. Another ball into hands and out of bounds. Lanier tried to use that one earlier in the match, if you remember, and it landed just in. That's the moment to use it. She's still wide enough that she can tag those hands and go out of bounds. High ball situation for Stuttgart. Somehow getting through the blockers that are well placed. They knew exactly where that ball was going. And it is Hawk and Squarcini, 2 of the stronger, taller players on court. Some conversations between coaches. Might we see some changes? Stuttgart only down by 2. The captain going for it with Lanier. There's the response. Deep to the hands of the libero, Rusa Koskelho, who incidentally is Finnish. Might she have something to do with that sisu cheer that Stuttgart does? The ball in from the Finnish libero. Off the hands. Swing is good, and Stuttgart continues staying in it. It's Conegliano creeping point by point, but they have not run away with it like they did earlier sets. Catching underneath Squarcini. Lanier taking a breather. Gennady in for the reception. Oh, and it's an ace. An ace serve between 2 of the best receivers in the game, in Degenato and Kelsey Robinson-Cook. That's got to feel good. Anneli, best server of the Bundesliga in 2023, gets that ace. Follows it up with an error. 17-15. Tough serve again. Over by Bonhertz. That's read well, and it lands. Ooh, that's got a sting. It looked as though Stuttgart had that free ball coming in the bag, and this is when high-level volleyball players need to communicate with each other. Two players just looking at each other. It's a good choice there by Bonhertz. Freebie back to Stuttgart. Serve puts Conegliano off the net. The tip throw gets some confusion. And Haak utilizing all her weapons again. The expectation is that ball is going to be deep when it's not. Two players having to throw hands. There's that substitution again. Bug, Maddie Bug in for Bella Haak. And Victoria Piani in for Volosh. And Bug with an ace off the bat. Maddie Bug in a good position right now. She actually won the Bundesliga in Germany in 2019, worked her way up through France, and now into Italy, playing in the best team in the league. What a way to show you deserve it. An ace serve and a timeout.
More protection, you make the step more outside, it's too much space, and we shift more, yeah? One ball, come on, let's go.
The Sisu working as best it can, but it's a 4-point deficit for the ladies from Stuttgart as Maddie Bug steps up after an ace serve. Can she get another one? That one drops again on Van Jack. A roll into the hand. Stuttgart trying again. 2 blocks in a row still in play. Chance to throw it with 2 hands. Gets a scramble. On the outside goes Robinson Cook off the hands, and a great turn out of her. Stuttgart were on the back foot there a couple times in a row. And eventually, it's the change of direction. And the change up as Ivana Van Jack comes out, and a new responsibility in the reception lands on Jovana Mirosavljevic. Oh, what a scramble. Ball in play. And of course, the choice, use the middle when most of the players from Conegliano still trying to sprint back on court. Had to be a quick one. Bonhertz up to Timmerman. Mirosavljevic. Man, that is tough to pronounce. I got you, girl. There are the errors from Stuttgart. 12 they've given up to Conegliano's 8. Great swing on the outside, just down the line. Trying to avoid that block. Piani thought she might have wanted to stay with the middle, was a split second late. Which means Timmerman back to serve again. Good ball behind. That is great out of Rivers. Leaning on the inside, creating an angle that barely existed. Blockers are up and well placed, but she's got to find something there. Trying to cut the ball off early. That's another thing to pay attention to. Not only just the contact, but where in the arc of the ball is the attacker grabbing the ball. She could have waited for it to go wider and cut it off the line. Instead, she gets in early and tries to cross. No connection there through the middle. Another point for Stuttgart, back within 2. Maddie Bug was using her middles brilliantly towards the end of that last set. I like that she's chosen that. But it's a timeout for Conegliano. Classic move out of Santorelli. Pull your setters aside, away from the microphone, so us creepy little ears can't hear what's going on there. But I have a feeling he's told some bits of tactical information to Wolosz and Bug. Let's see where Bug sets here off this pass. Great ball in. Has a chance to use the high behind to Piani. It's a tip throw. Now setters out. Bump set from De Gennaro. Again to the right side. The opposite blocked and covered. One more chance for Rivers to get a point, and she does. Finds a miscommunication between the defenders. And Stuttgart are not out of this yet. Excellent swing. Brings some power, and that's what we're talking about. Waits a little longer, cuts it off down that seam between the blockers. Substitution reversed. And Stuttgart are making their way back into this set. There's the tip. High ball opportunity for Rivers to close it up. Does she get a touch? No touch called. Well, here's a look at it again. I don't see a touch in that slow motion. Giovanna Mirosavljevic is asking of her coach to call for a challenge. Sometimes calling that challenge might do enough just to slow down some momentum. Might make the server think a little longer about where they want to serve, but all in all, from where I'm standing, I didn't see it. We will get another replay of it. Maybe there's something that Mirosavljevic saw that I did not. You can make your own decision wherever you are at home. You get to decide what you think you saw. Might this be just clutching at straws? That's the question. When you're down by 2 points against the best team in the world in the third set here at 23-21, you might as well call a challenge. Ooh, let's see. The suspense is building. No touch, no fingers moving. Point goes Conegliano's way. To 21. Good ball in to the right side. There's a touch off Rivers. A better swing, turning that ball down the line. And again, every single time you see Rivers contact the ball, it's something different. That's what I'm loving about her attacking style right now, is that she's really keeping the blockers on their toes. Nothing predictable about her swings. Rivers to Cook. Hawk comes flying in and almost got the defense. Did the American opposites. But that's what you get when you have Hawk in front of you. She can hit those angles even without power. And you just don't know where to stand as a defender. 24-22. Wolosz on the serve to close things out for Conegliano. Rivers says not yet. Point goes back to Stuttgart. I wonder what the call was on that. Here's the swing. Ball's up, 1-2. So the net is what's called. Someone must have touched the net, because I was thinking that ball was still alive. Maybe you were thinking the same thing. 24-23, Stuttgart can't afford any errors. And indeed, that ball's in play. It's overpassed, and that is the game for Conegliano. Stuttgart will be kicking themselves. A service overpass is essentially an ace, and it wasn't taken care of. That one has to sting because that was to tie up the game and have another opportunity to go for a point. But instead, Conegliano take the win as they came to do here in their home match. There's the serve. Beautifully done. Volosh is back court. You cannot jump with her. She's not a threat. Well, the middle blocker doing the best she could there to wait and see who was going to attack. Instead, it's the ball that does the damage. 3-0, Conegliano over Stuttgart, and there's how it was done. 25-19, 25-15, and that last one, 25-23. Let's have a look at the stats then, shall we? Overall, 4 blocks each. Pretty low in the blocks, I have to say, but I'm thinking Stuttgart's not swinging blindly into this Conegliano block. But look at the aces. That was the trouble last time and continued to plague Stuttgart. 10 aces from Conegliano. Stuttgart got those 6. And the errors, pretty even Stevens. Not much, neither team, way too many given to a team like Conegliano. Well, they were expecting a 3-0. That's exactly what they got. Like that little switch up of a few different players getting their shining moments between Maddie Bug, Aliat Lanier, and other players getting some moments on court. But Conegliano, again, has so many players that can find their way on court at any given moment. One of the deepest benches in the Italian league for sure, if not in all of Europe, potentially the world. We'll see during World Champs. Hawk, one of the top scorers, no surprise there. One of the best opposites in the world, of course, doing a great job filling those shoes of Paola Gonu, who left a couple seasons ago. Now he's back in Italy with Monza, I believe. There are the fans, the Gioventù Giallo Blu. The fans in Italy, I can speak from experience having played there, they are the best in all of Europe. I have never seen or felt the kind of love that Italian fans give to their players. Even you just walk around, even before training, there's a line of people waiting to get an autograph. You just start to feel like you're really doing a little something special, and all the hard work you're putting off in the gym really starts to feel like
Hi, Isabel.
good
Can
thing.
you please give us
Let's have
a
a chat.
comment about the match and if you expect this type of game and did you what you
I think we always expect a difficult game against this team. It was a difficult game at their home court, so we definitely expected a difficult match, but I think we did good. We were stable in everything we did, and we had a hectic schedule, so I'm really happy that we could keep this game stable. Yeah, I'm happy for this victory. It's Champions League, so every point is really important, and yeah, I'm just happy about it.
Excellent play by Bella Hack. 60% in attack with 18 kills and 1 ace to boot. Well, here's how the pool looks now. Conegliano still right there on top with no losses. Rzeszów of Poland right behind. Stuttgart and Asterix of Belgium trying to keep up. The next match in Pool D will be between Asterix and Rzeszów on the 7th. And then Champions League matches will resume again in January. Stuttgart facing Rzeszów again, and Conegliano have Asterix on the 10th and the 11th respectively, so make sure you tune in for those matches. Well, congratulations again to Conegliano. It's been a fantastic match, 3-0. But for now, from all of us at the CEV, thanks so much for watching. I'm Key Michael. We'll catch you on the next one.